Evening, Leroy. I like that we had nice little sound effect from you typing away or something right off the top. It was nice, like in the background. I don't know if it picks up.
We're like Murder She Wrote. Like
I
it's just
know.
we got all the nat sounds already ready to go, man.
I was like, wow, what other sounds are gonna come from Leroy's office in Taylorville? How you doing?
I'm all right, my friend. How are you?
Good, good. It's good to be back for another edition. Listen, and I can't be much worse because tomorrow is opening day.
It is opening day for almost everyone. For almost everyone. Weather has played a horrible factor for a few teams who have to push to Friday, but
I mean,
otherwise than that,
listen, I can be the annoying Reds fan in this realm and say that opening days doesn't start really till the Reds play because that's how it was for forever.
Yeah, so
why the Reds always had the first game?
Why didn't you
I don't really know what happened with that. In all seriousness, I don't. Now the Reds still open up at home. They've only not opened up at home in like the last 50 years twice. Once was the lockout year. What was that? No, was that last year or year before last? Whenever that was, I guess that was 2022 maybe.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Whenever that was, they started, and then 1990, which because I know when that happened, because 1990 was the last World Championship for the Reds. Everyone was thinking 2022 is. It's like, is this what it takes? Is this what it takes, like for us to give up our home opening day?
So we talked about it in our baseball group. We talked about the Reds and how special opening day is for you guys. And I while I am a rival Cubs fan, I do understand the importance of opening day for you guys and what that means to you. But it says it was offered for the Reds to move. This is what one of my buddies said. It was offered for the Reds to move opening day to a Sunday night to still be first, but they declined. So baseball said that they lost the right to have the first game. It was also an agreement with past commissioners. So once the new commissioner took over, it died with them. Opening day is like Christmas for me here. I won't sleep tonight, which we already know how Reds fans feel about that. With that being said, I have to ask you, what tickets? Have you seen this clip? They have the which game is the cheapest and which game is the most expensive? Have you seen
Marlins
this?
Is the cheapest.
Yep. They play the Pirates.
And I don't think the Reds is the most expensive, but I think it's the second most. Is it not? Yep.
Second.
Is it Dodgers? I honestly don't know as to who the most expensive is. I didn't process it.
It's the Cubs at Rangers, which
World Championship.
It's World Championship.
Okay, that makes sense.
So Cubs at Rangers, $285 for the cheapest seat via TickPick. Nationals and Reds, $164. Tomorrow, those tickets will be what, $12?
No. I mean, that's the one game. It does not matter if the Reds. You could go in and the Reds.
I meant like game two is game two back to like $12.
Yes,
$14.
yeah. No, it's funny because it doesn't matter. Like the Reds could literally tomorrow say, "Hey, we're going to bring up the Taylorville High School baseball team, and they're going to play for us this year instead."
Yeah.
And opening day would still be sold out because it is it's a legitimate holiday in Cincinnati. I mean, they have a parade. They have everything with it. The grand marshal of the parade is a longtime retired radio host in Cincinnati. Sean Casey is throwing out the first pitch. I mean, who doesn't love Sean Casey, right? I mean, he's a guy, like, if you could ask me, we could have one guest on this podcast.
Yeah. That's who you'd want.
Casey or Votto. Like, I feel like both of those would be great guests because Casey, he's one of those. If you've never heard him just tell stories, and hey, Paul, I'm sure if you just Google later tonight, not on the podcast right now because we don't want you to leave us. Sean Casey stories, and you'll be entertained for hours. Like I heard him tell the story one time of how he almost killed Bob Feller.
I've been really fascinated with the Greg Maddux, Chipper Jones stories that have been seeping out. There's been quite a few that have been seeping out. Paul, I know you've heard most of those stories, but being a huge diehard Greg Maddux fan, it has been an absolute pleasure to hear the stories between Maddux and Chipper Jones. So Cubs at Rangers, Nationals at Reds, Braves at Phillies is 147. Blue Jays at Rays is 98. Cardinals at Dodgers is 95. I thought that would be a little bit higher.
It's only because a million people can get into Dodger Stadium. Good vibes your way, Paul. I didn't realize you had gallbladder surgery yesterday. That doesn't sound fun.
You and I were both all beat up over the last couple of days, although I feel like you had it worse than I did, my friend. Hope you feel better, brother.
Maybe it is your gallbladder. Maybe it is.
Maybe.
Maybe you and Paul can be gallbladder buddies.
Gallbladder buddies.
And having your set. Yeah, Leroy's been under the weather too, so hopefully you get to feeling better soon. And same to you, Paul. And Christy, if you're not feeling great, I mean, you're probably having to put up with this guy, which probably means you're not feeling too great. So you're welcome for that. Gallstones. My dad and kidney stones run in my family, and it's like every male in my family has had kidney stones, so it's only time until I get one. And I know my dad said it is the worst pain he's ever had in his life. And the hilarious part is it's the size of like a grain of sand. You know, those things are so small, but yet make you feel like you want to die. And lost her gallbladder 18 years ago due to gallstone pancreatitis. And you drink all those drinks. I drink a lot of water too. Like during the day, I drink a lot of water. Like I've got my water cup here. Oh, in fact, there's still a little bit of water in there. I didn't realize there was some from earlier, but I usually fill that up doing it. Apparently, you've been a handful, Leroy.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Gallstones were the size of a Skittle. Wow. I don't know about you, Leroy, but over the last week, I've watched a lot of college basketball. Even though it was a horrible game for you opening round. What, when the Tops lost, I was kind of disappointed about that.
Yeah,
I didn't really care about San Diego State, that game. I didn't really have many opinions on that.
Northwestern FAU. I'll start off easy. Did you watch Northwestern FAU?
And listen, I'm not coming right now to crap on Northwestern with this. What was FAU doing on the final play of regulation?
Dude,
what was homeboy doing?
Like, I don't know. And that's just it, right? Like FAU wins that hands down.
Yeah,
right?
He crosses the half court line and is just dribbling, and you can tell the announcer's like, brother.
And they had a timeout left, so I don't know if he was expecting Dusty to call a timeout or what, but like it never happened. And he puts up this once he put up the shot that didn't come close,
35 feet, yeah.
Right. I was like, oh, Northwestern's got this. I told whoever I was because we were sitting in the conference room here watching the game. I leaned over and I was like, I think we got this now.
Because
seemed to just suck the momentum. Right. No, go ahead. I mean, there's no reason Northwestern should have won that game.
No, I was watching the Western game because usually I did the quad box for every game except for two. I went full screen on Kentucky and went full screen on Western. And when I realized, because I was following it up, I like that they have the scores up at the top so you can kind of get the idea. And I saw it was really close, the final, 2 minutes or so. So I put it on my phone and watched it that way. And that was at least entertaining that I got to watch it and follow it and so on. I didn't really watch overtime because the Western game started stressing me out, so I had to jump into there.
Yeah.
But when I saw the end of that, I was like, what are you doing? Like if anything else, drive in, throw a shot up, and maybe you get fouled. If you miss it, okay. But I feel like you'd had a lot better of a chance than throwing up the whole
first half of that. The whole first half of that game was awful. I mean, I think there was the score at halftime was like 20-19. Like it was brutal.
Yes.
Brutal basketball.
Because that was the first game of the day, was it not?
Both teams. Huh?
That was the first game of the day, if my memory's right, wasn't
it? Correct.
So I watched quite a bit of that game.
Brutal.
And did that.
But they came out, they dominated in overtime and then put up a respectable second half against UConn. Not respectable first half, but a respectable second half against UConn and suffered that loss. But let's swing over, shall we, and talk about a game.
It is baseball season. We got to talk about that.
No, sir.
Wait a second.
Sir.
What is that? Is that? Oh my! The music is playing. It's time for Leroy's logos. Oh,
no, it's not, sir. You can shut that music right off. We have to talk about UK.
In my defense, did I not say it?
You did say that it was going to be a hard game for them to win.
Yes, because I legitimately think that if they would have won that game, they'd have gone to the Elite Eight.
Yep.
Like, I think they would have cruised because they just needed to get that one win and just feel it. And I texted my dad right at the start of the game, and I could send you the text message. They're not winning this. Like, I just had a bad feeling the entire time. Check your messages, Leroy. And I just didn't feel great. And then homeboy, who Jack Golke, who I'm pretty sure you could walk into the Taylorville Walmart tomorrow and see 14 people that look exactly like Jack Golke.
Oh,
or walk into your local YMCA.
Absolutely.
Your local YMCA and see there's a guy in there that's 35 years old that still wants to play his, and it just was embarrassing. Derek, I appreciate you listening. I'm ready to talk some baseball here once Leroy allows me to stop wallowing in my misery of being a Kentucky fan. But it was one of those things that, that guy, I mean, listen, he had a great game. Great game. Great game. And Kentucky's one of their best players, Reed Shepherd, didn't have a good game. None of their freshmen did. And it was the perfect storm of all of that. And because of that, it's been a weird spot to be a Kentucky fan over the last week because of everything that happened from that.
Has the model for winning basketball changed? Has it changed to the point that Kentucky needs to change the way that they recruit, change the way that they play? What do you think the reason is that they've had so many first and second round exits recently? And Paul's right. A lot of teams that should have, I mean, listen, it's basketball, right? It's not women's basketball. Any team can win on any given night.
Yes.
Okay.
And to answer Derek's question here really quick, I hope so. I hope so that we get a sophomore Reed Shepherd. I think here's the thing with it that's weird enough is that since Kentucky lost, it's more likely that he is back because I don't think he wants to leave on that note. I think college basketball is going to have more and more parity as the years go on because the game is changing so much with the portal. And I think that's going to change it so much. And if anything else, what I thought was going to happen is I thought it was going to make the best get much better and the worst get much worse. When in all reality, I think it's closed the gap and made a team like Northwestern have a shot. They could get a guy, Northwestern could pull the leading scorer from Weber State who could average, 18 points a game and do something because of that.
Well, Ryan Langborn, who played for St. Peter and had the big run for St. Pete.
Do we need to just?
No,
just...
I'm just saying when he went.
Okay, how about Steve Bartman and Donovan Clingan or whatever his name is?
No, see, the thing is I seem to remember somebody saying that the SEC was the full dominant team in all sports, whether it was baseball, basketball.
Listen, basketball, they should have performed a lot better this year in basketball.
And they should have performed better in football, but they didn't. Both SEC football teams and basketball teams fell short this year.
Let's see. Paul says not to bring college football into this, but this is why they need to expand the teams in the playoffs. Yeah, I think the playoff in college football is going to be
disagreement from us on that one.
I think the college football playoff is going to be incredible. And I mean, I just hope that there's been all of this talk now about March Madness and possibly expanding it. I hope that never happens. It's perfect right now. It's perfect. It is literally perfect. I mean, that weekend, there weren't a lot of great games. I mean, there were a couple really, Texas A&M, Houston. Wow. What a great game. Oregon and Creighton, late Saturday night, great game. Other than that, there weren't a lot of excellent games. I mean, there were a lot of blowouts and a lot of chalk. But still, there were some games that were just wildly. I mean, Houston, Texas A&M was one of the best games I've seen in a long time.
I thought that Yale game was pretty good.
Yale-Auburn?
Yeah, Yale-Auburn was pretty good.
Yep, that was really good. I mean, there were some games that were good. It maybe hasn't been quite as good as in years past, but I think a lot of that goes with is that there hasn't been a Cinderella. You have your one double-digit seed that has made it to the Sweet 16. It's the seed out of Kentucky's little wing. I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But still, because I think that's one of the things that makes it so special. Like 10 years ago, I saw it pop up, and there is Florida Gulf Coast went on their run.
Yep.
Like, you pull for teams like that, especially if your team, like Leroy, if Oakland would have beaten NC State, that's probably who you would be cheering for this weekend, wouldn't they?
Yep. And
because they're the underdog.
I was very thrilled after Northwestern beat FAU. All the comments from other Big Ten teams, fans who were rallying in support. I thought that was pretty cool. And after Northwestern got eliminated, all the support for Boo Buie after they posted stuff like hated playing against him, but proud to see him, happy to see him go, but loved watching him play or something like that. Just really, really cool how March Madness kind of brings out the camaraderie in fans for the most part, as far as stuff, unless
we don't feel any
unless you just absolutely choke against a team from a place where most people can't even find on the map. So,
did you know? Well, I guess you probably knew where Oakland was prior to.
Yes,
but
because I tell you what,
if you didn't live there, would you have known that? Do you think?
Yes, but only because they played Valpo one year, and I fell in love with their basketball court. Sam, see if you can find a picture.
I know what it is. I know what it looks like.
Their Oakland's basketball court is fantastic.
Well, see, what's really funny is that week 3 of Leroy's logos, I used Oakland, and you did not get it. If you're curious on that, so
I bet I didn't.
But it was just one of those things that I'm like, of course. But overall, though, I'm excited to see. I think Connecticut is still the best team. They're the favorite. They've been looking like it. Leroy, you got to experience it firsthand. That team is
when they are really, on.
They're really good.
That stupid 7'2"
Klingen
jerk can piss off all the way freaking.
He's really good.
Gosh.
He's really good.
My gosh. They just have so many weapons. When they are on, I don't know if they play like they did in that first half, they're going to be really tough to beat down the stretch. I've also been I'm really excited to see how, hey, we lose to, if UConn wins, we can say we lost to the national champs. So I'm all right with that. All right, my friend, I will stop your misery for the moment. We might bring this up in a little bit, but I've decided to let up on your misery for a little bit. We can switch over to another miserable topic. When are you guys going to make the playoffs? Is it going to be this year?
We just made it like 2 years ago.
Wait, we just made it, you jerk.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago. So it's not like it's been. I mean, when's the last time the Cubs made it? No, seriously, like
2020.
Yeah, so same as the Reds. You're talking all this.
I know, that was the whole point.
Let's go into our baseball preview though, because I think that and you know what, I think the best way to do it is let's make our division winners right now, and let's just pick it. And let's start in the American League. We'll go that way. And I'm just looking at the list here, and it has the East first. Who's going to win the AL East this year, Leroy?
Boy, once again, I want to say, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time to go into all of this stuff, but it is the American League East is stacked. There are a lot of good teams over there between the Yankees, not the Yankees, but the Orioles and the Blue Jays and the Rays. I really think those 3 teams will dominate the American League East. But I'm going to give the pick to the Orioles. I think the Orioles have enough that they can pull through. They have enough young weapons, enough talent. Also, all of those guys look the exact same. Have you seen pictures of these guys from the Orioles? They all look the exact same. I'm telling you, it's like they're brewing them out of a class. Like, all right, we're just going to clone people that look the exact same. Orioles is my pick.
You probably can take a guess who I'm picking.
Who?
Well, my favorite team in the AL East. Toronto Blue Jays. Listen, I'm all in Votto is going to lead them
that's
to the AL
only
East title.
Oh my gosh.
Only reason. I'm going with who I want, and I want Joey Votto to lead them to the division title. So because of that, simple enough, I am picking the Toronto Blue Jays to win the AL East. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. You mentioned when the teams that are good that the Blue Jays are on that list.
They
the Blue Jays.
are, but the only reason you're rooting for them is because your boy is on their team.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
See, look, Paul agrees with me. Paul's picking the Blue Jays too.
Paul, don't encourage him.
Listen, the American League Central. I mean, clearly it's not the Twins. I mean, the Twins are what? Maybe last place, right? I mean, Twins aren't getting 52 wins this year. Royals winning the division.
Listen, I don't think a single team in the Central Division has a winning record. I'm just telling you right now.
They might not. They might
79 and 83 and stuff.
I mean, it's a bad division. Like,
it is.
That is a. I mean, the Twins are the best of the worst.
Yeah. But the thing is they're all going to beat up on each other, and that's going to. Well, they don't have the same rules anymore. Yeah.
Buy or sell.
Okay,
Paul Reeves, break this. Since Chase is biased being the Twins fan and we're biased being the NL Central fans, Paul, you are unbiased. You are an NL East fan. Tell us which division is better, the AL Central or the NL Central? Because Paul will absolutely give us he's picking Cleveland. So Paul will give me an inactual answer, and he'll be straightforward on which division is better top down. But so Paul's picking Cleveland. I think we're both going Minnesota, right?
I'm not.
Oh. Who are you taking?
I'm going to go with the Royals, and I'll tell you why. Do you know what the Royals did this offseason? The Royals signed a bunch of prove-it one-year deals.
Thanks, Paul.
Where they went, look, we're going to pay you to see if you have one good year. You get one good year, and then you can go sign with whoever you want to. But I think the Royals are going to be sneaky good because they've got a bunch of guys that are going to be all trying to prove it that they're much better than what they really are. And I'm going to give it to the Royals.
Listen, you might be right. I still think it's the Twins. But hey, you never know. Twins might be the easy answer on that. Yeah. The West.
The Twins are the best of the crap. We know.
The West. A's, right?
Come on now. We all know the Angels are the team to beat over there. They've got wait.
They do have Trout. He is still there.
Yeah,
is Rendon still wanting to play?
Third baseman doesn't want to play baseball, so
I think they have Michael Lorenzen still. They do have pitching. Cleveland does have pitching. They always have pitching.
Will the Astros have enough to hold off the Rangers?
You know who I'm going to pick here? I'm going to go the Mariners.
Are you?
It's shout out to Scott Stroke. To me, the Mariners are this year's Orioles, where they finally put it together and they win the division out there. Because I think it can be like one of those things that the Rangers and the Astros are going to be, the Yankees and the Rays. They're going to beat one another up, and the Mariners are just going to kind of just sneak their way through. And I'll take the Mariners to win the division because I think it's, I got to have a little bit of fun. If you take the Royals, I can take the Mariners.
Yeah. I'll go with the Astros because it's an easy pick.
Of course.
Bro,
are you kidding? NL East.
Well, clearly the Washington Nationals are the team to to beat over there. I mean,
Phillies.
They've got new signs up that say we don't care how fast you throw ball 4.
I mean, it's Phillies, Mets, Marlins. I mean, is there anybody else even in that division?
No. What division do the Savannah Bananas play in?
Oh, I think they're in there. I think they took the Braves spot so they could finally get a real team in there. That doesn't choke in the playoffs, right? Hey, but you can't choke in the playoffs if you don't make it, Leroy.
High five.
Hey. I mean, the Braves should win that.
Yes,
they should win that division.
Listen, the Braves are the Braves are doing it the right way. They've got a bunch of low contracts signed for long years for guys that are really, really good. Braves are doing it the right way, and it's going to be really annoying to watch how good they are again this year. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks to TBS, the Braves are my second favorite team, and Greg Maddux. So go Braves. That's my pick.
Yeah, I think the Braves should win. Can't count out the Phillies though.
No.
Can't count them out. And it wouldn't shock me if this is one of those divisions that is within, final weekend.
I will say that the Mets suck. The Mets have always sucked, and the Mets will continue to suck.
How much did Paul pay for that? How much did Paul pay for that?
None.
We'll come back. Let's come back to the Central. We'll finish with that.
That's fine.
NL West. Are you going to roll with your boys again?
Listen. The Diamondbacks shocked the world. That's right. I picked them at the beginning. I picked them at half point, and I picked them all the way and rode with them all the way. That's right. I rode with them all the way to the World Series. And you know what? I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to ride with the Diamondbacks again this year. And I'm going to say the reason that I'm riding with Diamondbacks again this year is because I think the Dodgers have way too much star power. There's going to be some ego problems on the Dodgers team. Same thing for the Padres. Giants got better, but they were pretty awful last year. And then Colorado, poor Chris Bryant. So, yeah.
That is where he is, isn't he?
Yeah, it is. And what's funny is they did an interview with him, and he basically was like regretting his decision. He was like, I probably should have looked at my options way more before I signed with Colorado.
Is Carlos Gonzalez still on the team? Ubaldo Jimenez, he's still there? Todd Hilton?
Oh my gosh.
Larry Walker? I'll take the Dodgers. They have to. They almost have to. Okay, let's jump into the Central here. And first, we got to talk about Chase's take. He says the Pirates and Cardinals.
Do we have to talk about his awful take?
Well, he says Pirates and Cardinals are better than the White Sox and Royals. Okay.
Twins, Tigers, better than the.
Now, I don't know that I would disagree in saying that the Twins are better than the Reds and the Cubs. Like, I don't know that I would disagree with that. But the Tigers are not better than the Reds or the Cubs. And I think the difference between the Tigers and the Reds/Cubs is greater than the difference between the Twins and the Reds and Cubs. I don't know that agrees.
Sam's not going to like what I have to say, but I think the Pirates are going to be probably one of the most improved teams this year if they can stay healthy. The Pirates have no depth whatsoever, but they have a lot of speed. They have a lot of flash. They have a lot of young guys. And Tigers have like 2 players, bro.
And one of them swings at every single pitch.
Okay, 2.5 players then. I wasn't even including him because
let's be real, 2.25.
Let's face it, he hasn't been good since 2016.
Just love. He literally will swing at anything.
God, I was really hoping not to bring up his name tonight, and I'm wearing his jersey. So I mean,
oh, are you now? I was going to ask you which jersey you're wearing. Okay, the NL Central.
But no, I don't think they'll win. But I do think that the Pirates are going to be way better than what they have been. Will it be enough to do anything in the NL Central? No. But Brewers fell off a whole lot. Cardinals are still crap. So I really think it's going to come down to Cubs Reds.
Who wins
Do
the NL
you
Central?
guys
Right?
have,
Who wins the NL Central?
the Cubs by a game.
I think Cubs by more than that.
Yeah.
I think the injuries already for the Reds are I mean, like Matt McLain is out more than likely for the season. That was announced earlier today. It's just I'm worried about. I'm just worried about what is the Reds' injuries are going to look like. They're already going to miss Friedel for probably the first 6 to 8 weeks of the season. That's a big loss. And then the pitching just has questions. I mean, is Montes going to be? What is he going to be? You know,
what is Ellie going to be?
Yeah, I mean that's a big. There are questions. I mean, here's the thing: if they put it together, they could win this division by 5 games. I really like that because they have enough young talent, but the injuries already have worried me to where I cannot pick them. Spencer Steer is great. He's a great player. But I'm just worried that I mean the Matt McLain injury I think is huge because I think he is a star. To me, he is a guy that is he is the epitome of the guy that nobody talks about, but every single year you look and you're like, oh, he hit 275 again. He had 15 home runs. He had, 85 RBIs. But nobody ever talks about him being a really solid player. I'm trying to think of an example of some guy like that. He is just like going to be the epitome of consistency. But Andrew Abbott, he had a great run and then sucked for the last month because people figured him out. And that to me is just all the questions with the Reds.
Can you do me a favor and pull up Chase Blaine's comment on Tigers have solid pitching? Thank you. Turkey Screwball is fantastic. I will give you that one. You then have Kenta Maeda.
He is 85 years old, isn't he?
Correct. Jack Flaherty, also 80. Casey Mize.
Okay. Shout out to Florida, right?
Right. And Reese Olson.
I do not know who that is.
Exactly. So I'm trying to figure out where the solid pitching is. Because past Screwball, there's really not a whole lot there. Now, if you look at their lineup, and listen, I have friends who are. I lived in Detroit. I mean, I have friends that are huge diehard Tigers fans. But a starting lineup of Parker Meadows, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, who is good.
I do like Riley Green.
Caffrey Carpenter, Mark Canna, Colt Keith, Javi Baez, Giovanni Urshela, and Jake Rogers. I don't know, guys. I don't know if that's going to be enough to win that division.
Isn't Jake Rogers a golfer at Grayson County High School? Pretty sure he is.
There's a kid. I was at your tennis team.
No, he's a golfer. He's a golfer. Golfer. Because I just, like, a week or two ago realized that he's the younger brother of an athlete, and I'd never, put 2 and 2 together. And I was like, oh, they do look alike, and they have the same last name. Interesting. I do like Riley Green a lot, though. He is really good. Baez absolutely does need to go home, though, Paul.
It's super frustrating because he's had so many opportunities to fix his swing, and it just hasn't happened. Really disappointing.
I think they should give him one of those big orange bats. You know the ones I'm talking about, like the wiffle ball, big fat orange ones.
I just laugh because everybody gave the Cubs such a hard time for getting rid of all of their guys. And the only one who really was solid after he left Chicago was your least favorite player, Anthony Rizzo. Otherwise than that, none of those other guys really performed well after they left Chicago. They really didn't. And Rizzo loses 2 months every year because of his back.
Mm-hmm.
So
he fits right in with the Yankees.
As much as we hated it at the time, I really think looking back at it, it was probably the right decision.
Who wins the AL pennant?
Gosh, I would love it if the freaking Rays would do it, but I just don't see it.
To me, this is hard.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's hard because whoever it is going to come out. I truly believe whoever it is going to come out of the American League East.
Paul, I would say too, if you ever need somebody for a fantasy baseball league, Chase is probably your guy because he's all in on it. He's all in. He could probably share you his and you all could fantasy baseball nerd yourselves out.
You know what? I'm going to shock the world and say Baltimore.
I was considering it, even though I didn't pick them to win the division. And honestly, I like there is not one team that says, yeah. You know, like in the NL, there are a few teams that you can see doing it.
Is the National League better than the American League this year?
I don't know.
I'm not talking about the All-Star. I'm just saying.
I wish I would have thought of Chase with that because he probably would have actually been a pretty good candidate for you. But there's so many questions on both because there's so like baseball. This is one of the best years for young talent in a while. Like, I mean, there's so much young talent in baseball right now in both leagues. I mean, you got so many teams that should be really exciting.
All it takes is 3 or 4 guys who just come out of nowhere and start seeing the ball well, and
like the Diamondbacks.
We're having a very different conversation. Yeah.
I mean, the Diamondbacks are the perfect example. Nobody in their right mind thought they'd win the pennant last year. Nobody in their right mind thought that they could do that. And you know what? Because of that, out the Mariners. Why not? Why not? I'll be just as a dark horse in there. I'll take the Mariners to do it. And why not? Have a little bit of fun with it. Because I literally, you could, there's probably 9 teams, I think, that could actually do it. But as long as it's not the Yankees, I'm perfectly fine because nobody needs that. But then again, it's probably impossible if they're going to stay healthy because they never do. And then Aaron Boone's, is he still there?
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. Every year they're like, fire him. But nope, he sticks around. Who wins the NL pennant?
NL pennant, Braves.
And I'll take the Dodgers.
I think the Dodgers fall apart.
It's one or the other. Like, it is one or the other. I think back to that.
They're either going to dominate or just self-destruct.
I think back to that team. And because honestly, to me, what's going to be really interesting is this whole Shohei thing. You know, like, could they dig in and find something?
That was one of my 4 questions for you. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to, do I be nice and save it? I guess I'll be nice and we'll save it then. Because it could cause the team to fall apart. And it'll be really interesting to see what happens. And I loved Pete Rose's response to it. Did you see that?
I did not. What did he say?
So it's just clearly he was sitting at the casino and some guy just had his phone out and was recording himself. He says, "Hey, Pete, what do you think about Shohei?" And he goes, "If I'd have known that, I got an interpreter when I was playing." I was like, Pete. But I'll take the Dodgers. And you know what? Because of that, I'll take the Dodgers to win the World Series because I'll buy in. But like you said, it wouldn't shock me if it's Marlins, Royals, Worlds. I'm trying to think of the worst, like baseball just. Like, what would be the worst? Marlins, Rays? No, Rays. Rays at least are good. I'm trying to think who would be Marlins, A's. There you go.
Houston, Milwaukee.
Oof.
That'd be horrible World Series.
Houston Dodgers, just because neither team fans will not want either side to win.
Either side to win. Oh
exactly.
my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What is worst case scenario for you as a fan, the World Series?
Worst case scenario for me?
Yes. Let's see, even it doesn't necessarily have to be likely. Like, I'm just saying, like, what would be your worst
Houston.
nightmare?
St. Louis, Houston.
So I guess Paulsey's not being biased. I just know baseball. I always just go with what team has the best player. When to me, it's a toss-up, and the Dodgers have the best
Paul,
player.
You're not being biased at all, rooting for the Atlanta Braves.
I think it's got to be Yankees Cardinals for me.
But both the Astros and the Astros former NL Central team.
See, I don't have any hatred towards.
You're
them.
not old enough though.
Although it is a little bit easier to hate them now that Dusty's gone. Because it was kind of hard to hate them with Dusty. Because can you really hate Dusty? Like, really, you can't. You can't really hate him. Who wins the AL MVP?
I can picture him right now, just chewing on a toothpick, man.
Oh, yeah. Who wins the AL MVP?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Aaron Judge stays healthy this year and wins it.
Okay. I don't think that's a bad case. White Sox and Yankees. Not possible, but that would be it. Would White Sox Cardinals wouldn't be worse for you?
If the White Sox win 50 games this year, I will be shocked.
I'm going to take Adley Rutschman.
Yeah. Kid's fire.
He's good. He's really good.
I know, Paul. I know.
Who wins the NL MVP?
Freddie Freeman.
Acuna. Even though since I don't know. Since I'm picking the Dodgers, I feel like I should almost take Shohei. But since that's interesting. You're taking Freddie Freeman. In that realm.
Boy, I hope Mookie does win NL MVP. Let me tell you.
Those are both good guesses. Julio for the AL. And I guess if I'm picking the Mariners to win, I probably should look towards that. But it's definitely interesting when it comes to all of that. But how about we hit some music? For everybody's favorite segment, Leroy's Logos, where I've got 3 college logos. Leroy's got to tell me what the college is and what the theme for said logos is. Leroy, I'm going to be honest with you today. I think I have curated a perfect threesome of easy, medium,
That's what she said.
hard.
That's what she said.
You are hitting 399. So this is a big week for you to try and hit above 400. Let's see if you can do it. Would you like door number 1, 2, or 3? 3. Door number 3, Leroy has this. It's a mean-looking kitty cat, isn't it? Something you probably wouldn't want in a threesome. Come on. Oh, you are going to kick yourself like crazy if you do not know this one.
I will go with Florida Atlantic.
You just played. Give yourself another chance. You just played them. You know what is their mascot? They're the
mascot?
Owls. They're the Owls. Florida Atlantic is the Owls. Give yourself another chance on that.
They're not the Panthers?
No, they're the Owls. You're thinking of FIU.
Oh, FIU. FIU.
Which I guess you can theoretically use as your guess if you want, but
it's not right.
No, because I'm a nice guy like that. Nothing?
Nothing, brother.
Sorry I have to do this to you. This college is the one that is closest to you. Southern Illinois, Edwardsville.
Oh, EIU's closer, but I'll take it.
Oh, is it?
SIU?
SIUE.
SIU.
Southern Illinois, Edwardsville is the correct answer there.
I know you're thinking, oh, I gave Leroy help because it's the Illinois team, but gosh darn it, that's...
One or two?
So mad at you right now. 2.
Did you say 2?
Yes.
You're gonna be still mad at me when I do this?
Ooh. All right, fine. I'll let you have this one.
Okay. Do I even need to give you any time on this?
No, I will go with the great Army.
It's the same college your Tony's translator went to. It doesn't exist. Sorry, that's incorrect. This is Navy. No, I'm kidding. You're right.
You're so full of crap.
Army, says Leroy, and he is correct in saying that.
I deserve
gave you
my
your bing.
thing.
Do you want it again?
Thank you.
There you go. I gave it. It just wasn't very loud when I did it. And your final one, Leroy.
Ooh, I like the
I had to do some editing and some Photoshop work here to cover up where it says.
Just understand that when you get to your drivers, I didn't have the time to Photoshop stuff, so it's just gonna be a lot of black marks all over the place.
Oh, thanks. Chase gets Space Force University. You got anything here? This was in my scale 1, 2, and 3. This one was number 3 of being the hardest.
No clue.
Nothing.
E something. I'm gonna say E something.
You are correct in E something. I guess now I see it. I don't know that I ever noticed that in their logo. Are you saying that because the bird is in the shape of an E?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've actually never noticed that in Elon's logo. The Elon Phoenix. So Leroy, what is the thing?
You gave me a map. If you gave me a map right now and was like, I'll give you $500 if you find Elon on a map, I would not be able to do it for you.
I think they're in the Carolinas. I think it's in the Carolinas. I think that's right.
Elon.
I think it's in the Carolinas. So what is the theme, Leroy, for today's episode? On Elon Musk. It's in North Carolina. Okay, I was right.
They all have like that tan in their logos, that tannish.
Technically accurate, but not the theme.
God dang it, Sam! Stop doing that. I went legit hard this time, man.
I mean, okay, I'll help you through this. I'm sticking with a similar theme to last week.
Okay.
You remember what our theme was last week? What time of year is it?
Teams that had upsets was your theme last week. Teams that had upsets.
You are correct. So maybe I would stick with a similar theme.
So are these teams that have upsets in the women's tournament?
Ooh, that actually would have been a smart logo.
Wait, does Army have a women's team?
Sadly, upsets very rarely happen in the women's game. Like I remember I looked. Yeah. I think there was only one lower seed than one.
There was one.
Middle Tennessee.
Yep.
Middle Tennessee. So sorry.
And then they got throttled. And the one girl made the Middle Tennessee chick cry.
Yes. None of these teams have ever made the NCAA tournament.
Oh.
Army has never made the NCAA tournament.
Yes, because
Elon has never made.
Because a certain other team used to be on that list for many, many years. They just got off that list in 2017.
396 now, Leroy. 396. So these are all schools that have never made the NCAA tournament.
Paul, that was the greatest comment, by the way. That's a strange way to do a Cleveland. That's a good one. That is the greatest comment of the entire night.
I've got a couple of themes here that are coming up that I hope you appreciate. Like, there's one that there is only one person that watches this podcast that can get, and it's you. So I'm hoping you can get it that week. My fingers are crossed that week. How about some play clock?
Yeah.
Why do you get so big every single time? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Why would you set me up like that?
Would you like to ask or answer first?
I will answer. I will ask first.
You will ask first. Okay, I am ready.
I'm asking.
Let me guess.
You
about Shohei Ohtani?
Nope. I'm asking. That's coming up. That's not my first question, but that is coming up. I'm asking you because I'm biased, so I can't give an accurate answer. Is John Lester a Hall of Famer?
No. You have to throw over to first base at least once in your career or I guess more than once to be able to make the Hall of Fame. Because it was once, wasn't it? Or something. Once.
He's got two.
I think he probably is the epitome of Hall of Very Good. But then again, I would have to look at the stats. Like, going off of memory, I would literally have to look at his stats and so on. But
I feel like the top of my head, I feel like the memory test should be good. Like if
his career earned run average is 3.66. To me, that's Hall of Very Good. And I would say he does have 200 wins, but he also had 450 starts to get there. So I would go with it and say Hall of Very Good. Never won a Cy Young. So no, I'm going to say that he is not a Hall of Famer. Hall of Very Good.
I generally like doing the memory test. If I sit there and I'm like, holy cow, like if I start thinking about him, I'm like, man, he was a fantastic, pitcher / hitter / defender. I tend to go off like that before I even look at the stats. As far as like, oh my gosh, he was fantastic. Like if Acuna keeps up doing what he's doing for the next 10 years, that's one where no matter what, we'll remember him as being a amazing, Joey Votto, right?
Exactly. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, a hot dog is a taco. A hot dog is a taco. Because a taco wraps on 3 sides, whereas a sandwich is open. So a hot dog is actually a taco. They had a whole thing on the classifications of these where they fit like them all into like certain things. I
don't know if I've asked this before or not.
I feel like you've asked this before, but I like it. And I'm going to stick with my answer that I stuck with before. A hot dog is a taco.
Is a burger a sandwich?
Is a sandwich a hamburger? Yes, a burger is a sandwich.
Okay.
Top, bottom, doesn't close.
Okay. Shohei Ohtani, what are you going to ask me about him?
Is Shohei telling the truth, or is there a whole lot more going on here that we don't know about?
Part of me kind of hopes that this is going to like unravel into being some just ginormous scandal. Like, and just like this rips apart
the Hall of Fame. That's what
no. I'm not even saying that. No, I'm more just like I am hoping that there is something to it. And where there's smoke, there's fire. And now, is it as bad as some people are making it out to be? Probably not. But is he innocent? Mr. Shohei put a halo over his head. See what I did there, former Angel? No, and usually the truth is somewhere in the middle with it, but he's not. He can't be fully innocent. As KSR co-host Ryan Lemon says, if it looks like duck poop and smells like duck poop, guess what? probably duck poop.
I find it interesting that, with all of this stuff, that there's a good chance that he was like, look, I'll pay you $250 million to just take the fall and take the brunt of it. And I mean, you just go back to Japan and have a nice rest of your life and we'll be good. I don't know. I feel I agree. There's a whole lot more going on here and baseball cannot afford the black eye that this would bring, especially as they get more involved with gambling.
Well, it's interesting. So the NCAA
is brought to you by DraftKings.
Tonight's episode, the NCAA president is I'm losing it. The NCAA president is going to all of these states now and trying to ban prop bets from being a thing, to where like you can't bet on how many points Reed Shepherd will have. And I find that very interesting as well, because those are some of my favorite ones to build with it as well. Leroy, I'm going to ask you a dad life question here.
He went to school in California, and they like the school in California was like, no.
Yeah,
he must
Paul
have went
said
to
this.
The same school that must have went to the same school that Monty Teo went to.
Manti Te'o's girlfriend?
Yeah.
Dad question for you.
Oh, great.
Should students have homework?
Well,
remember, your dad will watch this.
The 40-year-old Leroy is going to say, I had homework growing up, and those kids need to have homework because that's what we had. However, I'm very conflicted on this because I think homework presents a good structure of learning how to handle things and how to problem solve. But I try not to bring homework home with me from my regular job. So I'm split 50-50 on this.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Disagreeing with a wife.
Not the first time, won't be the last.
I don't know. I don't know my answer to it. I'm kind of with you that I see the pros and cons to both sides. And I'm trying to think, like, if you were a teacher, would you assign your students homework?
Yes. Yes.
And I think, to me, it depends a lot on the subject.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I find it interesting. Do you have your drivers?
I do.
And then while you're talking about that, we'll make our NASCAR picks here in a moment, but I made an executive but yet fair decision, I think, on the NASCAR contest. And you can overrule, Leroy, but I think this is the fairest way to do it. So because Chase and Tyler last week picked SVG and Allmendinger, they don't qualify for points. So when I went and looked, I couldn't find their points. So what I did is I went into the NASCAR rules and found how many points they would have gotten if they finished in their place and with a stage and all of that. So I feel like that was the fairest way to do it than to give them both just a big old 0. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay. Because both of them ended up doing very well. And we'll talk a little bit more about that since you now have them pulled up. And here it is where I have to say this driver is a NASCAR F1 or a IndyCar driver. He's not NASCAR. I know that. Not NASCAR. He's got a very European hairstyle, which leads me to him being an F1 driver.
Did you finally answer?
Yeah.
Yes, that's Oscar Piastri, F1 driver, which I probably butchered his last name, but
he's got to be European, right? Where's he from?
Italy, I think. Chase
will
probably correct me on it. Hold on.
Yeah,
Australia.
Just Chase.
Australia.
Really?
Australia.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, hit me up with the next one. Yep. See, you knew it. What is this? Is that Jack Harlow? Like, I mean, is he a Taylor Swift fan? Because he's got the Taylor Swift. Is he a Swiftie?
I have no idea. We're having sexy time, though. It's very sexy time.
He's an IndyCar driver.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. No way in heck there would be a NASCAR driver that would be able to dress like that without being eviscerated. Like, there's no way he'd be able to show his face. Who is this?
Oh, yeah? No way. I'm so glad that's David Malukas.
Is he
he's from
English?
Chicago, and he's Lithuanian. He's one of my favorite drivers.
Interesting.
American, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. I'm so glad that you said no NASCAR driver could ever dress like that. I'll even ruin it for you because I just love that you made that comment.
Chase Elliott. That's Chase Elliott, isn't it?
Yes.
That is Chase Elliott. And is he like part cow?
Look at
what are you covering?
Look at what my man is wearing. Oh, I had to cover up the NASCAR. Ooh. He was at the NASCAR awards ceremony.
Apparently,
it
Chase
literally
is not
says
a fan.
NASCAR awards ceremony.
Chase is not a fan of your F1 guy, Leroy.
Chase, that's your namesake. That's your namesake.
No. Not Chase Elliott. I think this is to the guy prior to. I don't think he's talking about Chase Elliott.
David Malukas? You talking about David Malukas sucking?
Yeah, who do you say sucks? Is it...
Or Oscar sucks? Oscar, yeah. You better leave David alone.
Yeah, I know that's Chase Elliott. This is Chase Elliott. Okay, so I guess you say Chase Elliott sucks? Okay. Yeah, I knew that was Chase Elliott. He's not an Elliott guy. Interesting. The hat is an interesting look. I will say that. The hat is an interesting decision. I will give him David is his Indy 500 pick. Do you like that pick? Okay.
If he stays,
Speaking of picks,
he fractured his hand. He missed the first couple of races.
Speaking of picks, and I did absolutely no research to this at all. It is time for us to drop in our picks for this week's NASCAR contest. In first place right now is Tyler with 132 points. In second place is Leroy with 122. Oh, sorry. Yes, that is right. 122. Paul is in third at 109. Then followed by John at 90, Chase at 75. And somebody else has got less than that. But that's not important to discuss that point. I don't know who could potentially have less than that. What do I know? So Richmond is the race. Richmond is the race, and I believe we are all good to pick whoever we want. We are, because nobody's picked the same guy 2 weeks in a row. Leroy, Chase, Paul, who are you picking this week?
That's a fuel saving. That's a fuel race. That's what Richmond is, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is. But I will go with Denny Hamlin this week.
That's what I was thinking.
By the way, Tyler picks Chase Elliott. He's at the airport tonight.
He hasn't watched in a while.
I know.
So he picks I don't think Kevin Harvick is still racing, Paul.
He's not. He's
not.
Now.
So I'll let you pick somebody else. I'm going to go Kyle Larson. So sorry, Kyle, you're finishing last now. Because that's about how it's gone for me. I've had to do this. He was going to pick Hamlin, but he'll pick Truex Jr. to go deep. None of them cars are saving fuel. Yeah, you're probably right.
That's big.
Probably accurate.
That's a big strategy, though, Paul. Like, I know we joke about it, but like that's a legit like thing.
Paul, if you have another guess other than Harvick, you can drop it for us for the race against Richmond this week, and we look forward to doing this because maybe I'll finally do something in this because I've had some really bad luck to open up in this. And if John watches this back or messages you, Leroy, and wants to have his pick, we can do that as well. Bert is entering for the first time. Hey, I like it. You can. It's never too late to enter. And Bert is taking Kyle Busch. Richard Petty.
God.
I don't think Richard Petty is a great.
You want me to give you some names and you just pick one of the names at random? I can do that.
William Byron, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin.
How about Wallace? That's the boy you gotta go with, man.
Kyle Busch.
My driver, Daniel Suarez.
You could be Chase's favorite, Joey Logano. Okay, that works.
There you go.
Joey Logano. Okay, so there are our picks, and Bert, you're in there, and that's the one thing about this is that theoretically Bert can still win. Chase is going to pick J.J. Yaley. Are you changing your pick to J.J. Yaley or Todd Gilliland? Because I will count it. I'm excited for opening day tomorrow. I'm excited to get baseball rolling.
Let's go. Excited.
He says, no, please don't change my pick. Yeah, I'm really excited to get this rolling. I think it's going to be a great season. And may the best team win, right?
Yeah. Can I get my tidbits in now?
I even had those written down. I had those written down and
You're
completely.
such a jerk. All right, I still can't figure out a name for what this segment is, but it's basically just topics from around sports that we don't have. There's not enough to fully talk about, but enough that we need to bring it up. All right, Ice Cube has offered $5 million for Caitlin Clark to join the Big Three. That leaked. Apparently, Ice Cube wasn't too thrilled that it leaked early, but $5 million to go play for the Big Three, which is more of it's not a Savannah Bananas type league, but it is more offensive oriented. And I feel like that would be perfect for her. And she might make more than the WNBA. She will make more than the WNBA. Let's just put it that way right now. Mets, Brewers, Phillies, Braves will need to wait an extra day to start their 2024 seasons. All of their games have already been delayed. Georgia, Seton Hall, UNLV, Indiana State, Utah, VCU are the teams that are left in the NIT. Sam, what team out? I already know your answer. What team out of all of that's going to win the whole NIT?
Larry Nerd.
Yeah, that's right. No. You say his name correctly.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Thank you. That's what I was waiting for. NFL has
Larry Nerd is a pretty good nickname though too.
NFL has approved the hip check rule.
We should have talked about the kickoffs today too.
And the new kickoff rule where the kicker will kick from the 35-yard line. Go watch an XFL kickoff. That is very similar to how the NFL will be changing it for this year. They're going to see how they like it. But I want to get your opinion really quick while we have a few moments on your thoughts on the hip check rule. It seems very subjective.
Yes.
Players, from what I understand, players are not thrilled with this rule.
I just don't know how you police it. You know, I'm just worried it's the defensive players too. They're now going to have to adjust again.
Yep.
And where are they going to adjust into tackling? They're going to go back higher?
You're going to see offensive numbers really start to go up here.
Now the kickoff rule, the way I'm describing it, is I am going to take that mentality like I took the pitch clock for baseball.
It's horrible until I watch it.
I'm going to go in with an absolutely open mind, like I did with the pitch clock. I said, okay, you know what? I will give it a chance. And I loved it.
No one other than the kicker and returners can move until the ball hits the ground or a player inside the landing zone.
Correct. The one thing I do kind of hate is you can't you can't sneak up and do an onside kick. But at the same time, I mean, how many teams actually do that?
There was 2 last year, I think.
Fake onside kicks, is that what it was?
Yeah.
I mean, it never happens. I do hear this a lot. Two-hand touch will be a rule in 10 years. I don't think that we'll ever get to that.
No, come on. We'll have flags instead. All right. The first game of the year is Eagles-Browns. That game will be exclusively on Peacock.
Second,
now, I know
it'll be a Friday game. Second game
Now,
of
I
the
know
season.
you're all saying, boo, listen, we may hate it. We may dislike it. Peacock already has a ton of other programming. For $5 a month, you can't beat that. Plus, there's a ton of baseball in there. And all my racing's
Did you
on
sign
there
an
already.
endorsement deal? This really sounds like an endorsement deal. And I'm wondering, how are you the one that's signing an endorsement deal?
So sign up for Peacock
with the promo code Leroy
for your exclusive chance for 30 days free. I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know. What do you think about this with the game moving over to being exclusively on Peacock?
Get used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the playoff games they announced is going to be on Prime as well.
Yeah.
Again, get used to it. I mean, Peacock is what? They do so many free trials and so on that you can do. It's just like I don't know what you want me to expect.
No,
are the Cubs going to move from WGN to Peacock?
I don't want to talk about the stupid MLB archaic blackout rules. I live 3 hours from Chicago, and I cannot watch any Cubs games unless I pay $20 a month.
At least you get the option.
I know, Sam, but it's not worth it.
I would pay that for the Reds. Absolutely. $20 a month, sold.
I do like it that now I have the option. It's become a standalone. For the longest time, it was not a standalone, and you had to buy like all kinds of like other channels to be able to get.
Sounds a little illegal, Paul.
No. Paul will talk. Because I tell you what, listen, I don't mind supporting Marquee. I don't have an issue with that. But I find it very frustrating that if I live, and again, it's separate now because they actually have a standalone channel. But like, I thought it was stupid because listen, if I lived in Kentucky, I could watch all the Cubs games I wanted unless they were playing the Reds. But now I live like right next to, and I can watch the White Sox. I can watch the Blackhawks. I can watch the Bears. I can watch Northwestern.
Uzu TV. Uzu TV. I have heard of that.
So it's just absolutely frustrating.
I mean,
and I really hate. I'm gonna sound like an old fogey here, but man, I hate that I cannot watch Cubs baseball without these stupid flipping archaic blackout rules.
We've talked about this. How do you feel about Boog?
I like him. I wish he wasn't. There are moments where he kind of annoys me, but his pros outweigh his cons.
See, the website I use to watch the Reds, because there is no other option than to illegally stream, it sometimes doesn't let me choose between the home and the away. Like sometimes I have to listen. So there was one or two games this year or this past season where I had to watch the Cubs broadcast, and I don't Boog, and even doing basketball, like he's not. I don't know. And it's also because you get so used to your guy. Like I think John Sadak, who's the Reds guy, is fantastic. And I got to meet him last year. Super nice guy. Although I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast, Leroy. And John, I know you're watching, and I know you remember this probably happening. So we were, since one of the stations that we work through is a Reds affiliate, each year we get to go do a Reds. Yeah, I know. Paul said I was doing something illegal. Oh, I fully admit that I illegally stream every Reds game. I'm not afraid to admit that at all. But so we get to go to an affiliate suite, which is right next to their TV booth. So because of that, we shared a restroom with all the media and so on. And it was a double header. So in between the two games, myself and a coworker of mine, shout out to Zach, he just had his first child on Friday. We went to the restroom, and there were 3 urinals. So obviously, what do Zach and I do? One of us takes the left, one of us takes the far right. somebody comes storming in a rush and jumps right into the middle. And we're thinking, oh, you're breaking the man code. And it was John Sadak, the TV guy. We're like, you're breaking the man code. You're breaking the man code. But, and then we had a nice conversation where he pretended to care where we came from, which I always respect. Oh, you're from Elizabethtown? Wow. That's really cool. And it's just like, you all do sports? That's so awesome. And it's kind of like, and in the back of his head, he's thinking, I'm the broadcaster of the Cincinnati Reds. You're the broadcaster of the Grayson County Cougars. Get the, like, what are you doing talking to me? But it's just kind of funny.
They don't do that, Sam.
No, and he was super, super nice. And it was funny because we both knew, like, he had 30 minutes until his next game. So we were both very much like, we know you're busy. So, like, we're not trying to, like, we were more just like, hey, you do a great job. Nice to meet you. And then he went on because we understand that, when you're 30 minutes in between the games, you're not trying to talk to the random broadcasters from Elizabethtown, Kentucky and Grayson County and so on. Were those all of your tidbits?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. I know we started talking about you mentioned one of our buzz topics, which is MLB streaming. And that'll be something that'll get us fired up.
Hate it.
I'm hoping my website works again this year. I've got it saved in a tab. I probably should have tested this prior to, less than 24 hours to opening day, but meh.
I am a Cubs Braves fan because of WGN and TBS. Okay. I'm a Cubs fan more than WGN, but I'm definitely a Braves fan because of TBS. And I absolutely hate that they don't carry those games anymore.
Yeah, I always loved when the Reds played that 2:20 game against the Cubs because I could come home from school and it would be on.
Beyond. Yep.
And
I remember very vividly getting home from school and watching usually innings 5 through 9 on TV. Yep. Now I'm going to go take my back medicine and my Alzheimer's medicine and go get my warm cup of milk before I go to bed.
Do you put your socks in the microwave too? Warm those up?
Wait, do people do that?
Oh, yeah. You don't?
No.
I couldn't tell you last time I slept with socks on.
I don't. My wife sleeps with socks on. I do not. They drive me nuts.
Your wife sleeps with socks on?
Yes.
Is your wife one of those people that is always cold, though?
Yeah.
Okay. It checks out. Sorry, Christy. I don't know. I don't know why I expected that. About to take all my meds, getting old as hell. I mean, listen.
Paul, you remember TBS though, right? TBS showing all the Braves games.
Yeah, I do.
My goodness, man.
I mean, heck, I'm getting old. I'm getting old too. I mean, wake up in the morning and feel all the bones start popping and cracking and so on.
We were talking, and I know we were talking about father-son combinations that you've seen play. Father-son combinations. Now, were you? So I remember watching Griffey Sr.
Yeah, no, I wasn't
playing ball, but that would have been before your time, right?
Yes. Because I don't have any memory of Junior as a Mariner.
Oh my gosh, he was special as a Mariner, man.
Yeah,
he was special as a Mariner. Well, I was trying to think is like Patrick Mahomes Sr. played for the Cubs for a while.
I'm trying to think here of. I mean, Guerrero.
Yep, Vladdy.
Yep. I'm trying to think here of some other guys. I don't know. You don't really count the Mannings in this realm.
The Roy's caught up to him, Paul.
Do you think he did?
Do I think what? Griffey?
Yeah.
I'm very split on it.
Because I honestly don't think he did. Because the one thing that was the same is his body never changed. Whereas most of those guys that were juicing, they added some weight throughout the years where he never changed.
His injuries really stacked up towards
Because if he would have stayed healthy, he would have shattered that home run record.
I know.
Shattered it.
I know.
And he probably would have been the best. And he probably would have been the best baseball player of all time. I mean, if he would have had over 800 home runs, it would have been hard to.
He would have been up there, yeah.
Who would you have taken over him? 800 home runs? I mean, that swing. There's just put that.
No one has a better swing than Griffey.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's art when you watch it. It is just so much fun just to sit there and.
We used to imitate. So Griffey and then Sammy Sosa were like the two big guys that we would imitate, because Sosa would always have his chin like right here on his.
And then you got to do the and when he hit the homer, do the hop.
Yep. Always the hop.
Yep.
And then just Griffey, man.
Okay, Chase, explain. He was a White Sox. He was a White Sox for like
1 year when he was like 42, man.
I don't even know that it was 1 year. It was literally like.
What's hysterical is White Sox fans try to like claim Griffey, like Ohio State tries to claim Burrow.
He played 41 games with the White Sox. I was going to say, I didn't even think it was 41. Oh, wait, sorry. It was maybe a little bit more than that. No, 41 games. He played 41 games with the White Sox. 41 games.
And
wait,
how old was he?
3 home runs. He was 38.
30, yeah. See, I told you that was like, yeah, White Sox always try to claim Griffey, and it's hysterical because like everybody laughs at them when they do it. Stop it. Morons.
Yeah, White Sox better not try to ever claim Griffey. Happy opening day, though.
They do, though.
Oh, I know.
Well, I wish Sam Gormley a very happy birthday. Woo! Do you do anything special for your birthday there, buddy?
Well, it was a couple of days ago, so no.
I know that. That's why I'm asking if you did anything special for it.
No, I sat there and watched basketball, which is what I wanted to do. Chase had a birthday, too, a couple of weeks ago. Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Chase.
I appreciate it, Paul. But yeah, no, it's, I just literally, as I was explaining to somebody, once you hit the certain age, really, in fact, Chase's was his 21st. Like that's Chase. It only goes downhill from here. It only goes downhill, doesn't it, Leroy? Like that's what I was trying to explain. Like
27 was the year for me.
Thanks.
I got you. 27. It was like, oh, all that food you enjoy to eat. Yeah, no more. Oh, you like exercise? Yeah, no more.
But in all seriousness, like Chase says, there's not another birthday to look forward to.
No, wait, 25 is when like your insurance rates go down and you can like rent a car legally, right? Like
yeah, but then at 26, then you get kicked off the parents' insurance and you got to figure that out yourself, which is not speaking from experience. For sure, though, Paul. I hope you start to get better soon. That hopefully those pain meds can help. I don't envy you at all. And Leroy said, were you with Christy at that point? I guess not.
These are my I wasn't. These are my IV marks from the last couple of days in the hospital. So I wasn't as beat up as you, but I was definitely there and struggling over the last. And I'm not well now. I'll be honest with you guys that are watching. I'm not feeling the best right now either. So.
Well, don't die on us because I don't know who's going to host this podcast. And Paul, we don't like.
So they interviewed Eberflus today, and they said, "Hey Matt, how do you feel about the flurry of moves you guys have made over the offseason?" He's like, "Oh, I think we made some great moves." Well, yeah. What the heck is he going to say? "Oh, I thought Pauls was an idiot, man. I didn't like any of the moves that we made over this." I hate this these offseason stupid questions that we ask. Like, my goodness, man.
On vacation when it happened. It never fails to. That sucks.
Oh.
That sucks. Hopefully you can sit down and watch some baseball, though, tomorrow, and that'll help you recover a little. Even though the Braves aren't playing, I know you're a baseball guy, just enjoying watching the games. And if you need a legal website,
we got you.
We got you. Oh, yeah. I don't envy that at all.
So
Good
so
vibes
what
your
you're
way, though,
saying,
Paul.
what you're saying, Paul, is now's the time to send you trades for our fantasy league. Got
wait
it.
until he takes the meds first.
Wait till he takes the meds. Got it.
Then maybe you can drop in there. But I think that's a good place for us to wrap
Appreciate
up for
you guys.
tonight.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back next week, talk a little baseball. Final Four will be set this time next week. So we'll
Final
be able
Four,
to break that down.
We'll start looking towards the NFL draft. That's a big thing that we're going to start looking towards because it's coming up sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.